The sling bag is one of my most used everyday carry items as it comes with me pretty much every time I leave the house. So in this video, I want to show you what sling bag I use day to day, the contents I actually carry and what I look for in a sling bag. And I'm going to finish by putting my sling bag up against a couple of the best competing sling bags to see how they compare. So a sling bag comes into its own when your pockets can't cope, but at the same time you're not carrying enough to justify a larger bag like say a backpack, and that happens to make this sling bag my most used bag. So let's start by showing you the one I've been using now for over a year, and it is this one, the Bellroy 9-litre Venture Sling. In fact, I bought this in March of 2023, so nearly 2 years ago as I filmed this, and it actually featured in my 2023 Gear of the Year video. So for someone like me who is always looking for the next best thing, this has, so far at least, really stood the test of time. Now Bellroy make a host of different sling bags, but in my view their Venture Sling range is the best Bellroy has to offer in terms of everyday carry. The material they use is their own Bider ripstop nylon, and it's a material I like. 85% recycled, water resistant, tough but flexible, and it has a roughish texture and a matte finish, which I think looks really good. And you have 4 colours to choose from. This one is the black. It has a thin element of padding at the back which runs around to the base and introduces some useful lateral rigidity to the bag. On the outside there are 2 YKK AquaGuard zips, one to access the main compartment with easy to grab paracord zip pulls and one tucked away at the front. And this bag is also very lightweight at just 400 grams or 14 ounces. And I always pay close attention to the weight of everything I carry, as comfort can very quickly be sacrificed if the weight excessively builds. The wide strap has 2 simple metal low profile adjustment sliders, and there's no midpoint strap release buckle, which in my experience you don't need, as you always just throw the strap over your head when putting on the bag. Strap detachment is useful though to allow you to fasten your bag to something like a chair when you're sat down grabbing something to eat, and that's a good way to stop an opportunist thief. And what you do get here is very discreet detachment points where the strap meets the bag. It's not obvious they detach, which is a good thing for security, and there's no bulk at all with these, which adds to the visual appeal. As you can see, the strap attaches to this connecting piece, which is attached to the front and the back of the bag, meaning the bag is naturally pulled flat when being carried, keeping things neat and stopping the contents from rattling about when the bag is not full. Opening the front pocket, we have 2 elasticated mesh pockets and a separate space at the front with an included key leash. And when it comes to accessing the main compartment, we have this unusual double zip arrangement. The zip opening is fully closed when the zip pulls are at opposite ends of the bag, and this allows the bag to fully open from either end, giving unmatched access to the contents, a feature which seems unique to the Bellroy. Now this bag cannot be fully sealed with this approach, and you can get a finger into the side of the bag when the zip is closed, so you need to be mindful of small loose items. On balance though, this is a price that is well worth paying, and I've never lost anything from the bag in my own use. Inside the main compartment there is a light coloured lining which feels luxurious and makes the contents more visible, and the Bellroy label here can conceal an AirTag tracker, which is a nice touch. In terms of organisation, we have a stretch pocket at either end, a full width zip pocket at the back, good for passports and those smaller items, and on the face of the zip pocket we have 2 narrow vertical pockets for pens or tools alongside 2 wider pockets. And then finally we have a full width stretchy zip pocket with a microfiber interior at the top of the bag, and you'll notice this only extends to the top third of the bag, and that's because it's designed to hold glasses or sunglasses even out of a case, because this location keeps them away from the crush zone at the bottom of the bag, as well as giving easy access. Another well thought out detail. All in all, we have minimal but practical organisation, leaving a large space in the centre of the bag for more items or for larger items. So a lot of good stuff going on here, but the true test of a sling is how it works in real world use. So let's have a look at loading this bag up with my real carry and see how it works. And as always, I'll include links to items featured in the description below. First up is my alpaca wallet pouch, and this is my most minimal pocket carry-in. This is what I keep in here. And if you want to know the details of this wallet pouch setup, I have a dedicated YouTube video just for this, which I will link to in the description. And this happens to fit perfectly in one of the elasticated pockets in the Bellroy sling, allowing for quick access whilst benefiting from a bit of extra security in the zipped compartment. Also in the front pocket here, there is plenty of space for my bulky car keys, kept separate from everything else and attached to the key leash. Now, as you might already know, I always like to carry a power bank, and this one is the Nightcore NW5000 and is one of the lightest and slimmest 5000 milliamp hour power banks you can buy, and this fits really nicely in the remaining front stretch pocket. In fact, there is room here for a bigger power bank if needed, but my personal preference with this arrangement is to minimize weight and bulk. Then we are on to the main compartment, and in this mini pouch I have a micro towel and a bottle top bidet, and if you don't know what that is, I'll provide a link down below to a video demonstration of that one too. And this goes into one of the elasticated side pockets, leaving enough room for this traditional buff. Now, I'm sure most of you will already be familiar with these. It adds a lot of warmth when worn around the neck, and it can also be used as an impromptu face mask, as well as doubling up as headwear for either sun protection or cold weather warmth. I still carry hand sanitizer, a proven way to minimize catching something from contact with door handles, surfaces and people. And there is a flu epidemic in the UK as I film this. And it can also be very useful where soap and water might not be available before handling food. This goes in the other elasticated side pocket, along with a small pack of tissues, essentially if you have a cold, but also useful to mop up spills, stop bleeding, and for use as emergency loo roll. And I found these sustainable bamboo tissues are a great option. I also carry a couple of antimicrobial hand wipes, which can be used for wiping down objects or surfaces, and they go in the back zip compartment, along with a traditional notebook to jot down any thoughts and ideas. Any notebook will do, of course, but I still love this rather indulgent Smythe Sun Panama with its feather-like paper, which I've used now for many years. And if I'm carrying a passport, that will also go in the back zip pocket too. When it comes to pens, as a minimum, I always carry a Sharpie and my favourite low budget pen, which is the Uniball Gel Grip. Now these work great and have a combined weight of just 20 grams, so less than an ounce, and that makes them ideal. And they both fit in one of these vertical pockets here, leaving the other one free. For music, audiobooks, podcasts and phone calls, I always have earphones to hand, and at the moment I'm back using the Apple AirPods Pro, and these sit nicely here in one of these two back pockets. I can't see much without glasses, so I always carry a backup pair, and these are also photochromic, so they double up as my sunglasses, and I wrap them in a lens cloth and keep them in the purpose-made glasses pouch at the top of the bag. And that's my basic carry, and as you can see, there's still loads of space in here, but there are also a couple of items I like to carry if I think they might be needed, such as this fold-up beanie from Arc'teryx, and this is for when it's cold, and it's the type that will go under a helmet and folds up very small, although it is surprisingly warm, and it's perfect for when I forget my hat or for compact travel. Now, if rain is forecast, I will include an umbrella. It is old school but very practical, and this one from Knerps, which I recently featured on the channel, is a great option. It's super compact and strong, and yet unbelievably lightweight at just 120 grams, which is less than 4 ounces. Also, if I need a water bottle, then I'll use the A6 sized memo bottle, and I find the flat form factor works much better in the sling bag shape than a traditional round bottle. And then there is a compact fold out bag for when I might need to carry more on the go. Now, I prefer the backpack style to keep my hands free, and have used this one from Osprey for well over 2 years now, and it's been great. And then lastly, the Moft MagSafe phone stand if I expect to spend time viewing content on my phone or planning to make video calls on the go. Now, I'm unlikely to need all of this in here at the same time, but it does actually all fit, and there's still some space here that will fit something like a camera and a few snacks. And if you were wondering where I put my phone, well, I avoid carrying it in the sling bag altogether, opting instead to carry it separately in a secure pocket. Then if I accidentally leave my bag behind or it gets grabbed, then I still have a phone to call people, track and locate the bag if it's lost, switch off my credit cards, navigate, pay for stuff, use the e-wallet travel tickets and so on. If you plan to carry a tablet in here, then something like this iPad mini fits fine. In fact, a 10-inch tablet is going to be fine in here too. But this 11-inch iPad M4 is just a little bit on the big side. So the 9-litre Venture Sling is my go-to, but what about the others in the Venture Sling range? Well, here is the 6-litre version. This one is in a dark blue, and it offers exactly the same features as the bigger brother, but with the reduced volume and the smaller internal pockets. Now, to compare, let's see how it copes with my basic carry, which, to remind you, is this lot here. And here it is packed out. Now, the front stretchy pockets are too small for my wallet pouch, so instead I put it in the full width section at the front. Not quite as good, but it does leave room for keys to go in the stretchy pocket instead, and the power bank goes in the other one. The rest of the basic carry fits fine in the main compartment, but as you can see, compared with the larger version, there's now much less space available for other items. Incidentally, there's only one pen pocket with this one, and it's actually too shallow to take a full length pen, so I put the pens in the zip back pocket with the notepad instead. And this size does still take an iPad mini, but that's probably about as big as you would want to go. Okay, let's try and load it up now with the additional items to see if they fit. So here it is with the additional items. Now I've managed to fit in the beanie, the Moft phone stand, the water bottle, the umbrella and a couple of snacks, and it's pretty full at that, so I've had to leave out the packable bag and there's no room for a camera. Now for me, I prefer to have the extra space offered by the 9-litre even if I'm not using it. The larger dimensions I don't feel are noticeable in use, and as far as weight goes, the 9-litre only weighs 55 grams or 2 ounces more than the 6-litre, so again hardly noticeable. I also bought the 2.5-litre Venture Sling, which is the one I have here, and this of course is a very different proposition. The strap has the same pull flat system, and this time we have one release buckle which is magnetic and works well. The front pocket is divided into two with a key leash, and the main compartment has an open elasticated pocket on one side for the glasses and a padded divider on the other, designed for a phone. And we also have a zip pocket at the back which takes passport and other flat items. Now this bag is what you would call a pocket reliever, and a very good one at that. Can it though cope with my basic carry? Okay, well, my wallet pouch won't fit in the front pocket because of that divider, so I've put it in the main compartment along with the tissues and the hand gel, and I've got a buff underneath the pouch. And where the phone is designed to go, I've put my notepad and also my AirPods. And I wouldn't put my glasses in here without a case because it's in the crush zone, so I'd use something like this lightweight aluminium card case, which is low cost and readily available on Amazon. In the back zip pocket, I put the pens and wipes, and in the front pocket I've got the power bank and, with a bit of a squash, the keys, and it's now pretty full as you can see, and I've had to leave out the bottle top bidet and micro towel and that means there's no room for any of the additional items either, although it does actually all close. Lastly, in the range, Bellroy have a 10-litre camera edition of the Venture Sling with padded dividers, and this is one I've not tried but would be worth a look if photography is your thing. But what about other brands? Well, I've selected what I think are two of the best bags out there which compete with my 9-litre Venture Sling. I have here the Alpaka Go Sling and the Aer Day Sling 3 Max, and both of these brands are highly respected in the carry community and for good reason. Now, I've used both of these slings for at least a full week each using my actual carry to get a meaningful comparison. So let's start with the Aer Day Sling 3 Max. It's a 6-litre sling, but when put side by side with the Bellroy, it looks around the same size and actually weighs 50 grams more. And it looks to me like the method for calculating volume varies between certain brands, as I find this size discrepancy crops up a lot, especially with sling bags. Looking around the exterior of the bag, the material used here is X-Pack, which is tough and waterproof, although there is a recycled nylon option if that's what you prefer. We have YKK AquaGuard zips with nice zip pulls, and there is also a useful grab handle, and the strap, which is permanently attached to the bag, utilizes a fidlock release buckle, which, whilst bulky, does work well. The interior lining is orange, which looks good, and this front pocket has some useful volume to it and a key leash, but lacks any other organisation. The back pocket is for flatter items and again is a single space. The main compartment zip runs quite far down each side of the bag to facilitate better access, and inside we have a large flat pocket against the back which will take an 11-inch tablet, on which there is a large full-length zip pocket and two elasticated pockets. On the opposite side of the bag we have two more smaller elasticated pockets. Okay, let's put my basic carry in here and see how it works out. Now, I put my wallet pouch in the front pocket with the keys, but I didn't want my power bank to be in contact with those keys, so that's now in the main compartment with everything else apart from the notebook and pens, which I put in the back pocket, and there are no pen pockets in this bag. Now, all the items have gone in here with room to spare, but everything seems to be at the bottom of the bag, not helped by the fact that the pockets are all low down, and it would be nice to see, say, a glasses pocket at the top here or here to keep the glasses out of the way like we see with the Bellroy, but instead my glasses are now at the bottom of the bag with, it seems, everything else. Okay, let me now add the other items to see how that then compares. Now again, everything has gone in here easily, so no problem at all with the space, but this bag is taller than the Bellroy and narrower. Ignore Bellroy's quoted height dimensions, by the way, they are misleading. And that taller and narrower shape of the Alpaka means you end up having to root around more in the bottom of the bag to find what you're looking for, even with the long zips, which do risk items falling out when these are fully open. And that's in contrast to the wider, boxier and less deep shape of the Bellroy, which spreads everything out more, making the contents easier to see and access, especially when combined with that wide opening zip, something you only realise in real world use. Don't forget though that that narrower depth of the Bellroy means you won't get an 11-inch tablet in there, which you will with the Aer. Okay, now let's look at the Alpaka Go Sling, and this one is quoted at 5.5 litres, but again looks close in size to the Bellroy. The material used is X-Pack again, apart from the back of the sling, which uses a different woven material. And again, we have 3 separate zip compartments, 2 of which use AquaGuard zippers. This one also has a grab handle, which is something I like. The strap though, unfortunately, is something I don't like. It attaches to the bag with 2 removable, bulky, and I would say ugly, pivoting maglock connectors. And there's also an additional bulky magnetic buckle along with a chunky padded shoulder strap, which I don't think is needed. I come from a less is more school of design, and there is too much going on here for me, and it's probably the reason why the weight of this bag comes in at 50% more than the Bellroy. The interior lining is blood orange with a honeycomb design, which is really nice. And the front pocket is divided into two with a magnetic key leash, and the back pocket is for flat items and is a single space. In the main compartment we have a single flat space with a soft lining, and that's designed to take up to an 11-inch tablet. There's also two double-lined open pockets at the bottom of the bag, and also one at high level, which I was excited to see and I do like, although it's divided in two, so too narrow for your glasses, which are back in the crush zone with this bag. And again, there's no pen sleeve in here. Okay, let's see how my essentials fit in here. The wallet pouch and keys go in the front with lots of available space, and I've also put the tissues and the hand gel in there too. The notepad and pens are in the back pocket, again with loads of room to spare, and the battery bank and the AirPods are in the top pouches, and the glasses and other items in the bottom of the bag. Again, there is lots of room in here, so let's try all those additional items. As you can see, everything does fit in here, but access is even tighter with the alpaca, making it harder to see what you have in here when it is packed out, and you have to remove items at the top to get to the ones at the bottom. So for what I carry, this doesn't really work for me, but you always have to factor in your own carry to decide what would work best for you, and both Aer and Alpaka have their own unique features that might be more suitable for your needs. For me though, I'm sticking with the Bellroy. It's not quite perfect and would, I think, benefit from a grab handle, and I'd like to see an external zip pocket on the back for quick access to a passport, but it has some great unique features. The shape of the bag and that wide opening zip, for example, which gives great access. I also like the compression feature and the materials used, the well thought out organisation, along with the clean design, great quality and low weight, which all combine to make this hard to beat. And when it comes to the price, the Bellroy comes in at £130 or $140. The Aer Day Sling 3 Max shown here costs £120 or dollars, and the Alpaka Go Sling shown here is £90 or dollars. Well, that's it. I hope that's been useful, and for those that want to see more about the wallet pouch, don't forget to check out that particular video. But for now, I'd like to thank you for watching, and I hope you can join me for the next one.